All right, so here we go. We're recording. All right, so we got a couple things that we got to go through today. I mean, we got some big news with um Trump's appointments to his cabinet. Um, I asked everybody to kind of grade their picks, so we're gonna kind of go through and kind of just talk about that. Um, how does
I
everyone
got
feel like
$50 on bad taste.
dude? How does everyone feel currently so far about his picks, just like in general? Like,
It's
what's the thought?
it's interesting to see the kind of spread of people. I feel like what he's doing is just overwhelming his political opponents with appointments right now, which is great. So that you can't really get a narrative out against any one of them. So you see
Right.
the opponents like freak out about I don't know Marco Rubio and everything like kind of but or Matt Gaetz, and they
Yeah.
like, well, wait, there's more. And they're like, oh my God, the arrow's on fire. And then it's like, wait, no, there's another one. Here we go. So I like the strategy of just completely overwhelming the media pundits with just pearl clutching nonsense, which is great. It's very Trump.
Right. Yes,
That's my
absolutely.
first.
So my first pick that I went through was a Secretary of State. We're talking about Marco Rubio now. Um, I gave him a grade of a D minus. I said that
Yeah.
my opinion is that he's kind of the most neoconish person you could have selected here. His foreign policy experience has been with the Senate and the Foreign Relations Committee that he's in. And our foreign policy over the last 20 years has been a complete disaster. So I'm just not sure. I mean, let's hope he is, but I don't know. What do you think? What do you
There's
got?
a split to what he's dealing with, I think. And even though Marco Rubio was a complete dickweed during the campaigns and whatnot, he seems to be selecting people that will at least follow his direction. And that was a big problem in the first Trump administration, as he was relying on he was way more concerned about picking people that people on MSNBC wouldn't be mad, you know. And I
Right.
think if he focuses on picking people, albeit people that you and I as quasi libertarians may not be the biggest fan of, if he picks people that are loyal soldiers, if you will, I think that he can achieve more this time around. We know that he doesn't want to be sending money over to the Ukrainians anymore. He's already got quickly and if he lets these people just run them, then there's going to be problems. But he's picking people that aren't going to try if he fires them. So that I feel like that knife is roaming over their heads, if you will, which is why I'm not super mad about Marco Rubio, even though it could have been a lot better.
I mean, here's the thing though, to that, like he doesn't have to get, I mean, like with the recess appointments, yes, eventually he'll have to, but we can get into it later. I just think he could probably push through just about anybody, and you don't have to be a neocon to be in America first. I mean, I get what you're saying, but
Yeah,
I think it's time to push through who even you can be loyal and not be part of the establishment is what I'm saying. I get what you're saying though.
yeah, you're
E- yeah, yeah. Ethan, what do you got?
Uh, Marco Rubio pick could have been better. The one that I'm the most intrigued of is Homan for the Border Czar. I think that
right.
there's two kind of schools of thought for me. I think that he can probably be effective in what he's trying to accomplish, and it
Who
may
is
end up
this? Is this
being
Rubio or Holman?
Homan.
Oh, okay.
Um, I also think that the way he goes about it probably isn't going to be great optically, and he kind of gives me Joe McCarthy vibes a little bit.
Yeah.
As in like McCarthyism.
Not McCarthyism per se, but like just his demeanor and his like laser focused, steadfast, I'm getting these fuckers up out of here, reminds me of how McCarthy was trying to hunt down communists.
Well, listen, he knows what to do, dude. He was with the single greatest deportation president of our lifetime, one Barack Obama. He worked for Barack. So if anyone has any questions about how to deport people, they go right to the source, right to Obama's right-hand man. So I think, what did I give him? I gave him an A+.
Yeah. I'm a big fan. I love how just I'm trying to turn over a new leaf here with my language. I almost said words. I love how no X given this guy is. We did not elect Donald Trump to be meek or timid about his goals or the mandate. Everyone gets using the word mandate.
Yeah.
We didn't. We know Donald Trump ran on being a bull and a tire cup on this topic. So while it may be disheartening for some and a little disconcerting with the way he speaks about the people, this is what people voted for. They want illegal immigrants gone. He's going to go after the criminal ones first. And we can debate all day. You know, I'm a former, wow, that was scary. I'm a former no borders libertarian, you know, but I've since come around. I mean, there is no sovereignty without borders, and globalists have done a lot of damage to our country and many other countries. So without an effective border, why is voting even matter, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Democracy can't exist. Sovereignty can't.
Uh-oh. We lost you. We lost you, Scott.
Am I back?
Yeah. Yeah, you're back.
Am I back there?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're back.
So without a functioning border, nothing else matters, and people are really tired of the laissez-faire nature of just giving people money and really holding our elected officials accountable when it comes to this, like it's an actual issue, right? In terms of illegal immigrants. So my point was just he's going to focus supposedly on the ones that are like harming criminal throwing drugs, human trafficking. And I have a feeling that as he does that, a lot of them are going to self-deport. There's going to be a lot of people that are like, okay, writing's on the wall. Let me get out of here before the door kicking up.
Yes.
he's
and
gonna-
I'm not super concerned. Yeah,
No,
sorry.
he said, I go back to the RNC where he said that Trump's going to label cartels as terrorist organizations, which brings a different level of ferocity to the equation when dealing with them, which I
Yeah.
think has a lot of upside for national security and drugs and shit like that.
Yes. Well, I think just listening to him talk, he served under both parties, and he made it well known what the problems were, which I can appreciate. You know, the left, like the super left, they keep forgetting a key word when they talk about deportation, and that's illegal. They always leave that out. They say that he's going to be deporting immigrants. That's just plain old not true. And I saw a post from Michael maybe a couple days ago, and his wife had gotten involved in the post, and he was talking about they're going to denaturalize certain people. And if you look more into that, they're talking about sex offenders, murderers, and rapists. Now, I don't know what the reality of it all is. I didn't know you could denaturalize people. It's a little kind of scary, but circling back, I think he's a great pick, and he's a no nonsense guy. If you watch him just testify in front of subcommittees, it's like he's just no nonsense. So, and you're right, Scotty. The reason Donald Trump, a lot of people voted us, and a lot. I'll speak for myself. I did. Was because of certain things like the border, which, you know, isn't like a strange thing. We're the only country that like wigs out like this when we try to try to change it. Like I don't, that never makes any sense to me. So
It's kind of
all in
it's
all,
kind of like where you hear all the liberals, I go to Canada. Yeah. It's like, yeah, good luck. You can't just walk into Canada like you can in the United States.
Nope.
Right.
They don't
Like,
even
bring
like.
something
They
to
don't
the
even like
States.
us.
Right.
They
yeah,
don't even like us
absolutely.
anymore.
That's right, dude. He definitely gets an A+ from me. That
What's
sounds like
this
everyone kind of agree.
denaturalization thing you're talking about, by the way? What is it?
I read that this office was created in 2020, and it was to look into people that had been wrongly naturalized, but were like murderers and sex offenders.
Okay. It's not just like,
No.
yeah, that
I mean,
would
it would take a great deal to denaturalize someone anyway.
it
Like
makes me think about like spousers and stuff, like,
Right.
like that wouldn't be
Yes.
cool if you could
No.
do that.
No.
So it's-
I think they're just trying to figure out who's coming in, who's here, and they just want people to be safe. It's like it's not like they're just sending Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? It's like Chinese and African fighting age
Oh.
males. It's not just
Yeah,
like children. If you want to watch a movie that'll absolutely tear you apart, it's called Line in the Sand. It's by O'Keefe Media Group. He did a documentary about the border and about how a lot of it's about the children, and it's wild. Non-biased, super independent guy, O'Keefe. Anyway, so let's move on. So I'm kind of skipping around, but we're gonna go for some good ones real quick. We can kind of end on the weird ones. So
Okay.
I got Matt Gaetz is an A+ from me. He's a dog. He was the kind of he got that dog in him. He very outspoken, really good lawyer. He was at the front of that Russia hoax, just debunking
He
it.
has the most sensible face in the world.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh,
absolutely. Looks like Beavis and Butthead mixed together as one person.
Yeah.
But he is kind, not the embodiment, but he is an America First kind of a person.
Sure.
He helped
They
Florida
with all these sex trafficking scandals and
Yeah.
there's. I want to see the evidence. I'll make my judgment if I see evidence and stuff.
Sure.
But the deep state
Sure.
definitely hates the guy, which makes me like him.
Which is
a lot.
good.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. And not only that, one of my favorite things he did was turn marijuana from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3 in Florida.
Right.
He helped write those policies. So I definitely I 100% appreciate that, because that's a joke. But just kind of like listening to him talk, just kind of like we were talking earlier, Scott, it's like you can tell that he's no nonsense. And it's also interesting to me, and because we'll get to one of my favorite ladies in the world in politics, but Trump seems to be putting people in these positions that have been wronged by these positions. Like he seems to be like his picks, like Matt Gaetz was just like all in that Russia hoax. He was prosecuted by the deep state, and it's like now he's in charge of the department that could prosecute. Like Fauci, for example. Like I think he should be persona non grata. But so I think that's an A. Or what do I have? What do I have?
Ethan
A+
thinks
down,
about
but-
Matt Gaetz.
Yeah, I definitely want to hear about it. Yeah, he made a face.
Alleged J6 participant sympathizer.
Okay.
Not a fan of that.
Okay.
Not a fan of that.
I already like the guy. You can't make me like him anymore, man. That's all I gotta
But-
say about that. Listen, I didn't know
I
he was
think-
there, but it makes me like him even more.
I just think that, to Darren's point, like
I'm sorry.
he's kind of giving people full circle moments to get their lick back, as the kids say these days.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. there's a lot to J6. I know that's something that's kind of near and dear in your thought process, Ethan. So I totally understand that. I'll have to kind of read more into that. But let's see. I'm kind of reading. Let's see. I saw that they were going to unseal some documents. Some Democrat from Connecticut. He's particularly critical of the justice.
You're bad.
No, it's because he's critical of the Justice Department's investigation in January 6th, and I agree with that. They arrested people that weren't there. There's some people that deserve to be in jail and prison for sure.
Yeah, that part fucked up.
Where grandmas would immediately walk through the front door after they like literally open the fucking doors and start, put a red carpet on for them and gave them a tour of Nancy Pelosi. Like, it's such a freaking.
In the years afterwards, Scott and Ethan, in the years this is the thing. I want to see your face when I say this. I don't know how to do that. I'm gonna click over real quick. In the years after the attack, he spread conspiracy theories about Ray Epps.
Ray Epps is a total dude.
He is a Fed.
Conspiracy theory is a freaking Fed, bro.
Yes.
The guy who was like outside the day before.
Let's go do it.
Yeah. And then
he doesn't charged nothing.
Yeah. He's on camera saying, let's go in there and start a revolution, basically. And they know he gets no charges. And there's like old grandmas who were like on a camera for 2 seconds to get arrested. That guy's a cunt. It's not a conspiracy theory. At this point, if you don't think it's going, if you don't think it's reality, I can't help you. Ethan, I love you, bro. But Ray Epps is a thing. And it's not a conspiracy theory.
It's falsely portrayed as a government agent as well as the pipe.
Literally yelling Fed to Ray Epps' face too in the video. It's so great. They're like, you're a Fed. It's so
yeah. Let's see. Meanwhile, there's gonna. I agree. You don't want to. I don't think this is gonna go without controversy. He is the most. I'd say on this list, the most controversial pick that they're going to have the toughest battle.
Controversial dude in Congress, dude. Besides probably Thomas.
Yeah, which would be another great pick. Anyway, all right. So moving on. This is my new favorite one by like a long shot. Is Secretary of Health and Human Services, which is RFK Jr.
Case.
So I'm going to read kind of like what I wrote about this because I didn't know. On the way home, I'm like, I don't know much about what Health and Human Services do. I literally said, I do not need to explain why I love this pick. As secretary, he's going to oversee the CDC, FDA, NIH, CMS for Medicaid, Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services, Health Resources and Services Administration, Administration for Children and Families, Administration for Community Living, Agency for Healthcare Research and Quality, Indian, like Native American Health Services, Office of the Assistant Secretary for Health, and the Office of the Inspector General. He is also 1,000% not a neocon and a Democrat. Oh, yeah. And here's the thing, people
like a you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
yes. And you can say whatever you want, and I'll listen as long as you want, or as long as I can to everyone. But you can say that he's not an expert, but everything that he's written down, no one's sued him over about being defamation. Everything he's ever written. And, it's interesting, too, is like, just like when he wrote that Fauci book, the real Anthony Fauci, why didn't Fauci sue him if he was wrong? It's because he can prove that what he's saying is correct. And I think it's just the deep state. They don't have much. He doesn't have much left to like tag, like he's a recovering addict that like killed a bear in a state park. Like what else are they going to say? He's a Kennedy. Ethan, what do you think about, how about in general? What do you think about RFK? Do you feel like the same way just in general about his work, or are you a little on the fence?
I'm not on the fence. I think that like when you look in terms of like how this progressed to where we are now versus 3 months ago,
Sure.
A guy who is basically from the family of the Democratic Party gets railroaded by said party. He made a business
Bro, that was
decision.
wild, wasn't it?
Yeah, he made a business decision, and here we are today with him in a cabinet position, and he's still the same guy, right? So it's not like he took a blood oath to give up, the essence of who he is. He's still that same person. So
Yeah.
in a system that thrives on checks and balances, he is a check and a balance to everything else, considering we have a Republican president now. So
Yeah. Dude, keep going.
I think that with Homan, with RFK, and like the no nonsense, I'm gonna get to the root of things, and even with Ilana Vivek, like there's gonna be certain instances to where it's like, what the fuck are we doing? Why is this shit a thing? And how can I stop it or get rid of it?
Yeah, you know what? Even to your point, dude, is we'll get into another pick in just a second, but I kind of want to relate that. Is how you said RFK he's the same dude. He didn't take a blood oath to his party. It's interesting to me when people hear America First, they think like neo-Nazis, or we've been like trained to think about whatever, just nothing good. But he, instead of putting party first, he put America first. And someone else that's now in his cabinet also did the same thing with Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah,
Tulsi's that's what I was trying to get at. Tulsi's the same person as a Democrat, saying the same stuff as she is now as a Republican.
Any person that blindly votes for a candidate due to party affiliation is an America First.
That's right. And it's okay to be America First. That's not saying you're some white supremacist or white nationalist or whatever the word is, the word of the day is, It's just like they didn't have a problem when Tulsi was nuking Kamala off of a debate stage when she was a Democrat.
I actually enjoyed that.
Yeah, I enjoyed her when she was, I wrote this on Facebook. I enjoyed her when she was a Democrat, and I enjoy her now that she's a Republican, and she hasn't changed a lick. And you're the same thing with RFK that you were saying.
My only reservation about Tulsi is that she has no experience in the intelligence community whatsoever, right?
Oh, she was, oh yeah, I guess so. I thought she was military intelligence. Hold on.
She was in the military, but like she was deployed as a medic. So yeah.
Actually, this is gonna probably be a stupid counterpoint here. But as like a professional redneck or whatever, I like these people from all of the bona fides that we typically see of highly credentialed people for the positions. It gives them a fresh perspective on these topics. I literally am like the director of national intelligence or anything, but I've worn many hats in my career, whatever the heck that is, from dog trainer to chief of staff of a cybersecurity firm, and I've functioned very well in the wide variety of things that I've done professionally. So I think something at the company that I will not name, the DHS subcontractor that I worked for, we would hire for personality and then teach them how to do. And I think when you look at hiring from that perspective, it's a much better team. It's a much better, go back to Ethan's point of fact analysis. What I really like, what I'm seeing is that, yes, some of these people do have more experience in a specific field, like trying RFK here, but we're really hiring people based on their perspective on what the actual function of government is, what the actual role of these people that we've hired as citizens to, we've indicated these roles to these people. So I'd much rather have someone who may have the direct experience we typically see when this is playing, but they've got their hearts in their own, if you feel.
I can see both. I can see both.
100% isn't going to let some shenanigans go. And that's really what I think people voted for as voted.
Yeah.
And the shenanigans have been going down for the last 20 years, man. So
And
anyway, I digress.
she's the same pick that we were just talking about, Ethan, where it's like she's put in charge of something that a department or a type of bureaucracy that went after her. I mean, she was put on a terror watch list for disagreeing with the deep state. Yeah, and Kamala specifically. Yeah. But I totally, you know, what's so funny, Ethan, is some of these summaries that I wrote for these picks, I include that. Like I say, like let me find one. Like let's see, we got Tulsi, Mike Waltz, right? It's like we're not really sure. We just don't know. They haven't been exposed to. He's never run some type of giant department with thousands of employees, right? It's like, okay, yeah, they worked in the Pentagon on policy, but I hope that can translate. That's in my head. And I don't know if that's because I'm conditioned to think that way, because whatever, but it's like, it would be like a guy at Best Buy then being immediately promoted to regional manager. You know what I'm saying? Where you have like, not just like one store, not just two stores, not 5 stores, you have 12 stores or 15, whatever the amount is. Like it's not just like you're the store manager or the district, you're like the region. Or does that make
a region would be 300 actually.
Okay, so 300. So it's going from like, hey, I worked in electronics, like not electronics. I worked in like the phone section of a Best Buy, and then tomorrow, and you get along great with everybody, right? And as a store manager, you're looking at this guy and you're like, dude, he's really good at what he does, he or she does. And then the next day, the regional manager's like, listen, Jerry is going to be my replacement. And you're like, Jerry? I mean, he's okay. Are you sure? Yeah. Yeah, dude. So I do. Sometimes I do worry about that. But on the other side, I agree. I think Scott's right. It's like, I think these picks are meant to shred the bureaucracy kind of and put in place people who are a little loyal.
I like the aspect of the fresh perspective thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that in most instances when there's a dramatic overhaul and change. When you look at election results and how, you know, everything is read now at this point, right?
Right.
And people overwhelmingly rejected the current state of things, right?
Yes.
So a fresh perspective is probably the most needed thing out of all of this. It's just for me in that arena. Yeah. I'm not off put by it, but I'm like, just
you're
skeptical.
What's the word? Skeptical.
A little bit.
That's a great word. Yeah. I mean, and it's okay to be skeptical like that. It's like, these are really, really very important and very, very professional, of the highest degree that we have in like kind of our society, honestly. You know, it's like, these are some of the biggest, most professional jobs you could possibly get. And to go from, okay, here's one, Kristi Noem. Do you even know who does anyone know who Kristi Noem is? Like,
I know she is.
The chick from South Dakota.
Yeah. Yeah,
she
but
killed
that's what
her
I'm
dog, man.
Yeah,
you know, I know.
But that's on my list. I said Kristi Noem really has zero experience in managing a super large department such as this. Very unsure of this pick. But the good news is she didn't bend the knee on the COVID insanity, didn't lock down, and no masks. So she's a non-neocon ? So I gave a grade of C. But I totally understand what you're saying. It's like she's going from the governor.
She gets a C, but she gets an A. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
she gets an A from me. You know what I'm saying?
Nice. All right, let's move. So, I mean, we already know. We don't even have to talk about Tulsi.
I do. She's fine.
Anyway, I think Tulsi's an A. If you want to move on to John Radcliffe, got CIA. That's grades for me as an F. He
Yeah.
was second in command to two wonderful members of our government, which was Donald Rumsfeld and Gates, which are just two outstanding Americans, as well as advisor to the vice president with the last name Cheney. So just a wonderful gentleman, I'm sure.
I forgot about Rumsfeld until just now.
Dude,
That was his
I don't
plan,
know
bro.
about this. Yeah, yeah, that's his plan. He said that's his plan. Ethan's like, I forgot him till just now. Rumsfeld like, got him.
Gotcha, bitch.
Gotcha, bitch. Yeah, I just said super neocon, considered and recognized as one of the most conservative members of Congress. He was the director of national intelligence. He was Tulsi's job from 2020 to 2021. Clearly failed at this position. Hopefully reporting to Tulsi will make this an okay pick. I just don't trust the CIA to begin with, especially with a guy that I don't really know or trust.
You know,
He was very pro-Trump, so
how to Ethan's point now. You know, not to steel man Ethan's argument against me, but he is going into a position that you maybe do need a little bit of experience. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how this crap works, but
yeah.
I feel
Yeah,
like
I
the
would
CIA
assume. I would
would be
assume so, but I just
where
wish
you
it.
don't just hire someone off Timu or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if you're trying to. I don't think Tulsi's off of Timu, but okay, I get what you're saying. Let's see what else I got.
They call her Timu Tulsi. That's fucked
Yeah,
up.
Timu Tulsi, dude. National Security Advisor,
Look,
Mike
there's leadership
Waltz,
positions
which is
and there's specialist positions. If you have a leadership position, you don't need, again, like I was, I was technically executive assistant to the CEO, and basically his chief of staff, right? And I had cybersecurity. I think I did not have no experience with any of the crap they did. I can't really go into what this company actually did, beyond electrical craft and cybersecurity craft. But he needed me to interact with the, because he was basically an office, and like severe office in an ADD. So he had no way to like interface with his staff, who were a bunch of like construction worker type dudes. And it was nerds on one side and construction workers on the other. So he did all the getting the masters from MIT, all the nerd crap, and I did all of I'm translating this guy's vision to the other people and making sure they feel like someone listening that everyone was scared of the CEO. So you know what I'm saying? And some even leadership position,
Yeah.
I
just sure.
You don't need
I
you
just
don't need
the
specialist
CIA
knowledge
is
to be
a
a leader.
position that
I'm
right.
saying the
but
CIA
you also-
position is a specialist position, and Tulsi's position is a leader. They're two. That's the point I'm trying to make.
the
is
CIA has
Tulsi's
been
being placed in-
predominantly deep state over a long period of time, and I just don't think. I think there's more people that are not terrible that could do that job.
I'm not.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think. Oh yeah. I know exactly what you're saying. It's like, okay, so Tulsi has to at least know what he's talking about, and the thing is like that's one place in our government that has lied and trying to overthrow the last time he was president. So
Yes,
I don't know. That's always a tricky one.
I think they're the ones trying to kill his ass too.
I bet you're right.
Agreed.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple more. The SecDef, I thought that was a great pick. Pete Hegseth gave that a B plus. We definitely know how he feels about diplomacy with it. He did. But he's super qualified. He deployed 3 times. He's got 2 Bronze Stars. He's like, he knows the feelings of like actual real soldiers, Marines, sailors, all that stuff. So
My favorite part of
that
Walmart
candy.
right here.
Oh my god, dude, it's wild. And he's not a neocon, which is good. So
Do
haven't
you
really
think you
tallied it
guys
all
think
up.
that you can fulfill a leadership position without specialist knowledge in that thing?
You need to have at least a little bit. I don't think you can. Yeah, because like even if these specialists, what if they don't have your best interests at heart, and you have no idea what they're talking about?
Do you think you can learn on the job? if you will?
I think that you can learn aspects of it, but the thing that
Yeah,
you
but
can't learn
like you can't
is,
go to a hospital and become a doctor.
well, I'm not. Well,
That's a specialist position.
the thing
doctor would
the thing that I read that resonated,
Chief of surgery. I mean,
that Scott said was like, we hire people for personality and teach them the things after the fact. And that's like, I'm a person that hires people. So I have people that come in, they'll go, I don't know how to sell stuff. You don't need to know how to sell. I'll teach you that, right? Can you talk to a human? Yes or no, right? Price of admission. Can you talk to a human? Cool. I can teach you how to sell shit, right? I think that in some instances that is applicable. But you cannot, you flip the coin, you could have someone that knows everything about anything and they can't lead people and they're not effective and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what
Right.
you fucking know. If you're a terrible leader, it doesn't matter what you know because it's not
Right.
relevant at that point.
right. Yeah, I agree.
It's not something you can
But
teach.
at some point, I think some. Right. Yeah, and I just think some points of like some aspects of a leader is to instruct, right, and help promote. And I think I mean, I think you just need to know a little bit. You don't need to know tons, Scott. I'm not saying you need to know the whole damn thing, but I think
I feel
that,
you.
you don't just
like
become,
you're a military man. The generals aren't the ones.
right.
They're not sergeants. Sergeants
Dude,
are.
it's so funny you say that, dude. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I was literally just thinking, not even joking, most people that are good strategists in the military don't make it to generals
Probably
because
stop at colonel,
it becomes
right?
politics.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they start
that's right.
from
They stop
colonel.
at colonel, and it's like, right, and it's because of exactly what you're just saying. It's like, yeah, it's interesting. That's funny
Anyway, I
you said
digress.
that. That's really interesting. Yeah, dude, that's funny. We're like on the same wavelength. I was literally about to be like, people were like, well, he never made it to general, or he didn't have any stars. It's like he was a major. I mean, most people don't.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, like I don't, whatever. But yeah, I think all in all, it's been good, and I think that your perspective, Scott, about how it's like we're not gonna get A plus 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 all the way around. We have to be a little lenient. We're talking about upending a bureaucracy that has gotten way too big and
Like I
as
said, when we were
unmanageable and unruly as it's ever been.
absolutely, and like I said, when we were talking on the phone earlier, we can't get mad that we didn't get every toy we wanted for Christmas.
Yeah,
Like
that's
we've
right.
got a bunch
Because
of
we're
them.
getting some of the ones we want.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We got the
yeah.
N64,
Right.
bro. We
Yeah.
may not have gotten GoldenEye yet.
Yeah, let's.
We just gotta wait a couple months
Yeah,
for
I
our
totally
birthday.
agree. I think I love that analogy of like Tulsi, and then it's really interesting. I didn't even think of RFK when Ethan said, like, I don't know if you saw my eyes light up when Ethan's like, yeah, RFK's been the same guy. It's like, yes, like that's the person we need, right? Like it's you just cannot argue about it when they're just like, oh, she's that thing I put on Facebook. There is a Russian asset now, the director of intelligence. Like, you're gone.
Can't help you.
You're checked out. You're gone. Yeah, there's nothing I can do for you. Like if you like, because I bet you $1,000. She's like, a couple years ago, she's like, you see Tulsi crush Kamala,
Right.
And now she's like, she's a Russian asset. She's a spy. It's like, okay. Here, I'm
The
gonna
thing that
place.
that weaves between
Go ahead.
the thing that weaves between RFK and Tulsi and Vivek, and kind of this ragtag crew of, it makes me feel like kind of like the Rebel Alliance versus the Empire in Star Wars, you know? How they're all kind of like Han Solo and Luke and Leia all kind of have different perspectives and their goals. But the one thing that they despise is this authoritarian monolith in the empire, you know. Now, none of them know that the
Right.
emperor is behind there running everything, but the front of it is maybe Leia. But
Yeah.
anyway, you know, they all work together to accomplish this end, and that's what they all have in common, and that's what I like to see. Again, we're going to see some people like Marco Rubio and Radcliffe get put into disadvantaged positions or advantageous depending on how you look at the problem. But the people that got the axe in their hand or whatever, the people that are wielding real power in these appointments, I think have a good, and I think have the ability to wrangle all the, and that's kind of that's what
And
I like, you know.
Yeah, I know a lot of people hate this word. We don't here, but they are America first.
Yeah.
And that means a lot, I think, to the over half the country that voted for Trump. You know, like that was, I mean, every culture, every creed, everybody. They didn't vote. Oh, geez, Candy.
What do I want?
Yeah, they didn't vote for the establishment. They just wanted something different. You know,
Stork
it's like
chocolate reason.
so chocolate for you then. Do that. What's that? What that white chocolate? The white Hershey's. And that's right. I said it.
So many
Cookies
good
and cream.
options.
And that's a banging
I've been
one, dude.
eating unwrapped
Confectioner's
Rolos like every day.
Confectioner's sugar is disgusting.
What the cookies and cream Hershey's?
There's no such thing as white chocolate. It's confectioner's sugar. It's
Okay,
gross.
so confectioner sugar cookies and cream. The Hershey's one, the one that's like the
That's
best
my
candy out there. Is it? But there's no
Yeah,
such
what's
thing as
safe, man?
white chocolate, dude.
There is.
Confectioner sugar. Oh, nice. Dude. Yeah,
Right.
I
I interrupted you. You were on
see if I
a
can
tear
find
there,
this
dude.
real quick. No, you're good, dude. You're good.
I forgot we're not live. We're
Let's see if I can
edit
find
it up.
like this. Yeah, dude. So I can edit it. I can edit it.
I
I can't even remember. I honestly can't remember what I was saying, to be honest with you.
You were
Yeah, I
just
can't.
You have to change Scott's thing to white chocolate now.
Yeah. Oh, yep.
Even
Okay.
though nobody can see it.
They will on the video.
Howdy.
All right. There's Shane.
Oh my
Yeah. What
God.
was I talking about?
I think you were so ragtag crew. They all have a good heart. We were responding to me saying that they all have. You were saying they all have first.
Yeah, which is something that's like super needed, and like color, creed, everybody, any of those people, they all voted for that. They didn't vote for, you know, it's like when Kamala would say like, well, we're never going back. It's like, but the Democratic Party is when we're going back to. You've had it for 12 years. Going back to what?
Again, it's turning the page.
You know?
To the page before. We're actually turning the page backwards. We're gonna turning it to the page before we were just on this one.
Like, you know, it was real quick. What was crazy was the Sunny Halston when she's like, would you change anything? And she's like, no, nothing comes to mind. It's like, there you go. That's it. That was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
Bitch, what do you mean you wouldn't change anything?
Nothing, dude. Nothing.
The fuck?
Yeah, dude. Nothing. And then she's like, you wouldn't change anything? And she's like, yeah, nothing comes to mind. It's like, she got asked twice.
You ever seen oh, it's not Meet the Fockers. It's the No Regrets guy, and he's like, not even one
Oh,
letter.
yeah. No, not one letter. You went not even one.
That's my credo.
No regrets, dude. Yeah,
Not even
dude.
one
That's
letter.
like
I mean,
that's like the meme with the dog in the house where everything's on
this is
fire.
fine.
He's at a table.
Yep.
This is fine.
this is fine. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And I feel, I
Okay.
mean, it comes out they paid all these people money.
$20 million. They gave Beyonce $10 million, bro. $10 million.
That's how you know that
Um,
bitch wasn't black.
Shit. Shit, dude. You said it. I didn't.
Yep. I'm gonna put that as his title now. He said it. We didn't. Look at this. Look at this.
You're literally telling all these poor people that you're gonna save them from this horrible economy, and you just use $1 million of donations to Beyonce. What kind of absurd reality do these people live in? Anyway,
Here, ready? I'm gonna share.
okay.
I'm gonna share this with you just so you can see it real quick. Okay. Look, this is where we're at now. This is Pete Hegseth. Now they're saying his tattoo is racist, and then
Oh,
because
yeah?
Twitter's Twitter, they added a community note and they said it's actually a Jerusalem cross, which consists of large center crosses with 4 smaller crosses in each quadrant. It's one of the most well-known Christian symbols. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
we've had enough with the racism. The dude's not racist. Oh, there you go. Beat butt stuff.
Yeah, it's the Kingdom of Muslims flag when the Christians occupied the area. Just
God, I
because you
love
don't know
Twitter.
history doesn't mean that that we're racist.
God, I love Twitter.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Another one. Joe Biden's a
Community
solid
notes is
6
the most
feet.
base
Trump,
part of Twitter.
it is. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing. We know what we haven't talked about is Doge.
Amazing.
The Department
Amazing.
of Government Efficiency, run by 2
The cure- by the way-
outstanding Americans.
The cure to disinformation is community notes. That's how you
100%.
solve disinformation. Anyway, sorry.
That's right. Yeah, Doge, dude. Can you? I mean, like, Vivek said that he could fix 25% of the problem. Like, let 25% of the federal government go just
Take
by
care.
making them come to work Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. He estimates 25% would leave.
I bet he's probably right.
Yeah.
I think I told you
And his
on
idea-
on a phone call
Yeah, go ahead.
that my mother was a bank regulator for like 25 years.
Oh, we talked about this, yes.
Worked for the Office of the Controller of the Currency and the Treasury Department. And she said people would come in for like 3 hours and go and do nothing while they
Yes.
were there
Yeah.
and collect a
Yeah.
salary.
It's like, move these people to Indiana, to these small towns, move all these departments somewhere outside of DC.
Or
You know,
just
create
bring
some-
them back and get rid of them.
Well, what
The
I'm
other
saying is
thing that
trim the
would
fat, but then
happen-
move these departments into smaller towns where they could help with the economy there.
The other thing that would happen too is a lot of them working with West Coast Bank that opened, they opened like 8 a.m. Pacific time. So they'd show up to work at like 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. Even the ones that did show up early showed up at 7 or 8 a.m. I think my mom started at 8 or 9. But anyway, they get there and then they sit there for 3 hours, like with their thumbs up, doing nothing, waiting
Yeah.
for the banks in California to open. It's like,
The guy,
what is going
the
on?
guy
right
that was
now?
just on Tim Pool was worked for DHS. He's an investigator. He's like, dude, I couldn't
there
get anyone
something?
to work over. Yeah, I couldn't get anyone to work overtime because they're salaried. He's like, I'd have to call like the other part of the department that actually got paid hourly, because then they'd come do OT and do, they do stakeouts with me. You're like, these
Dude, there
people,
were all
they make
sorts of-
130,000 a year, and
Oh, I feel the part
I
about
got
being
investigated
salary,
by
though.
CISA. I had to do this
Yeah.
CISA nonsense. There's all these
Yeah.
redundant agencies, DHS as well. Anyway, I digress from that. But CISA is scary.
so yeah, it was a pretty interesting episode.
They were literally
So-
hunting for commies. Like, no joke, in the, I don't think it's classified to talk about what CISA does, but they basically were hunting for commies in the DHS, which I thought was kind of cool, but it was also like, there were a lot of things they were looking for. I'm kind of like, oh, you know,
yeah. Yeah.
like
You
they
can look
check your
anywhere. No,
credit
no,
and
but
your
just not there.
dad and
Just not there.
crypto.
Don't look there.
Yeah. Don't look in that room. Not that
Yeah.
room.
Everything's
That's-
fine. Everything's
Not
fine
in the
here.
BDSM dungeon. Sorry, just kidding.
Well, listen, in closing, let's go around and what are our thoughts, generally speaking? Right now, would you give like an overall GPA for cabinet picks? There's a couple more that we didn't mention, like the ambassador of the United Nations and ambassador of the Middle East. But
Oh, at least
What would you say?
Stefanik. At least
Yeah.
Stefanik.
Huckabee.
I think that
oh yeah, Huckabee.
total Israel. So if I had to give it a general answer, I think we're getting a little bit of Trump 1.0, which is concerning. But the people in the most important positions are Bates, Trump 2.0 pick, and I'm not gonna throw the baby out with the, I'll take the W's as they come along. I feel very optimistic, domestically at least, as to
Right.
what I've seen. I think domestically, we're going to see another economic golden age. A lot of the hits are going to help facilitate confidence and being able to steer money. I mean, I already feel it from clients. The lady from business has been getting new clients already. People just like giving her money, and it's only been a week. I know it's ridiculous, but I feel like people just feel more optimistic about the future and their willingness to invest from their money as a service provider who doesn't work a 9 to 5. I'm yippee dude. I'm doing cartwheels. So that's my
Right.
take there.
How about you, Ethan? What do you think? Overall grade,
I think that
as we stand right now.
as we sit right now, and we don't know how well or not well these people are going to perform in the posts they've been assigned to. So if you take everything at face value, I would give it a B-. Now, of course, me being someone who wants everything to get better, I hope that they all succeed in the posts they were given. But at the end of
Absolutely.
the day, I'm more concerned with the last 70 some odd days of the current administration versus the new that's going to come in at the end of January,
Right.
because Biden hasn't been running the country. We all know that. And I don't know what else could possibly arise or come up or whatever between now and Inauguration Day. And I'm not convinced. And again, like, I hate to give this disclaimer. Like, again, I'm not a Trump fan, but like, I'm a fan of people at least having a chance. I'm not sure that they're not done trying to kill his ass.
Yeah.
I'm really
dude.
not.
Yeah.
It does feel a
I
little bit like that. I won't lie.
we are all very. That's what I'm saying is we are very happy. And I was telling Scott this the other day. It's like I just still think he's in a lot of danger. So that's a very real thing, because there's a lot of really powerful people that really don't want any of this to happen. And I
One other
Yeah,
thing now that you say that too is
yeah.
the left
Mhm.
is weirdly quiet.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's because they're selling MSNBC or if CNN's firing everyone and they just can't get a voice out there.
I think honestly, Darren, I think they're taking a lot of their constituents' overreaction to the results of the election to kind of be the forefront of the perception of how the powers that be feel.
Yeah.
And they could be doing something behind the scenes that we don't
I mean, yeah,
No.
absolutely. Yeah, anything. We've already seen him almost get killed a few times. Well, one serious and the other serious, but like that was controlled. And until he
Could
gets
it
in
really
there,
be that?
I don't.
Could it really be that these people are just soft too, and like they just make a lot of noise and they're not for real?
Yes. Well,
And
1,000%, dude. 1,000%.
Well,
They say
yeah, there won't be a
8% of the country
J6.
are the ones.
There won't be a J6. They ain't got
you
it
don't
in
yeah.
think they'll be adjacent?
No, they ain't. The left ain't got it in them.
They got enough people to walk down there and peacefully protest into the Capitol, then all get arrested. But yes, they'd be waving dildos and not firearms. That's for sure.
Well, J6s
Yeah.
were waving firearms either. But anyway, that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, it's a whole other topic. Listen, I think you're right. I think it's a serious sign. We are all very like B minus. That's exactly where I would put it, and I find that to be crazy because for the last 39 years of my life, it would be an F.
Yeah.
Just like an astounding and resounding F.
I've
Ever since
literally
I can,
never felt
and
this
then I
way.
can, yeah, and ever since I can like really remember, and then especially watching Trump get railroaded, it's like, then thinking in my head when I was like younger, oh, Obama's this great president, but the reality was he was just kind of a great like communicator, and that was really it, and that was kind of the big downfall. But
He's a good
B
celebrity.
minus, but B minus, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a yeah, I would agree. And we can't get all the toys on Christmas, and what they have done is put the people that we love, like the people that we basically voted for Trump to put in place. He's putting in place Tulsi, RFK, someone like, even though Matt Gaetz is wild, like that's kind of like the type of person that people
The
were
chief of
talking
staff
about.
lady's cool too.
Yes, or the border czar. He's a real border czar.
Fucking brutal.
I mean, he's listed on the site. He's the border. He is the border czar. But yeah. Oh boy, 20. I plugged in. Yeah. So I would say B minus. I would say that's a great score. I would say stay on your heels, stay on your toes, because I don't put anything. And I absolutely agree with Ethan that it is not over. I think that the next however many days until he is sworn in is something that we should just. I mean, I honestly I
It
just
ain't over
expect
after that
something.
either, dude.
Yeah, I know. And the thing is, he's only really got 18 months. If he makes it, he's only got 18 months to the midterms. So they got 18 months to like do just about everything, which and again, this was for another podcast down the road, but we have to be realistic with what can possibly be accomplished. Because like in our heads, in our three heads, there's something very different, or maybe it's more aligned, but I'm just saying a lot of people are expecting everything to happen in a month. And it's like, this is kind of just
how the world works.
That's right. This is just the beginning. And I was telling Scott, like, it's interesting because this is kind of turning into a movement instead of a party.
This is a third party. This is
right.
the third party. And
Right.
you're seeing we're always lamenting about the two-party system and no one working together and anything. It's happening right now. We're watching it happen.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I never really saw it that way up until recently, when you have all these people involved that are very powerful, that are like, hey, listen, if you don't, it's interesting to me that he called him a fascist. He gets called a fascist and Hitler, and he's trying to cut all government by 75%.
That's super fascist,
just like a good little fascist would do, So he's like, dude, I want to end all the wars. And they're like, you're Hitler. And then it's like, I saw a post today.
Go
it
read
was
the
like,
tenets of fascism.
Those white nationalists that are not. It's like, listen, I know they're whatever. That's for another time. That's just for another time. I just listen, guys. I think B minus. I'll go with B minus. I'll agree with Ethan. I think
Yeah.
we're in a much better spot, and let's just stay hopeful until next time.